Hey friends, how's it going? My name's Miriam and I'm a poet amongst other things, and I'm sitting, as you can see, in an armchair, hence the armchair poet. Now, a few things I wanted to share with you today. First of all, you may see this book dangling literally by my head. That's because I realised that I rearranged the art in my room and the background for these videos is now just not as interesting as it used to be. But I thought, what if I just showed you guys some of the poetry books I've been enjoying recently by suspending them? So, can I commend to you Haydar Poems by Mahja Kaf, or Khaf. I'm probably mispronouncing that, I'm afraid. But it's a beautiful collection of really poignant, reflective poetry by a Syrian-American woman. So go out, look it up. I have a review of it on my writings page, but either way, consider it because it's amazing. Now, secondly, I am sorry that I am running late with this video. Usually I post on Thursdays, you may have noticed, but this week, well, the restrictions have lifted, which has been great, but perhaps you're like me and you found that all of these new changes have actually been pretty overwhelming as well. So what with restrictions lifting and suddenly driving to 25 kilometers away and busyness and feelings and all of the stuff, I haven't been as quick onto this video as I would like to be. So I'm here now and I'm really excited to be sharing with you one more piece from my zine called The Artist. Now, this is the last piece I will share from this zine, because if you want to read or hear any more, you can get it for yourself. Just DM me for a copy. But this one's a really precious piece. I'm really proud of it. Both because the process of writing was really interesting and because of how it came out, and because it taught me as well as I was writing. So it was commissioned for a person who I know a little bit of their life, and I know that there's been a lot of really hard things in their life. But for a poet, ideally, you're writing from something that you understand a little bit in your own experience. It doesn't have to be the exact experience of the person you're writing for, but you want to have something to connect with from your own experience to help you write better, to write more honestly. But I was aware that I just didn't have the depth and breadth of experience to write to the journey that this particular person had been on. But I remembered an article that was written, that I'd read in the New York Times, I think, yeah, or possibly the New Yorker. No, it was the New York Times, yeah. And it was called Bringing a Daughter Back from the Brink, with poems by Betsy McWhinney, published in the New York Times, and in 2015. And I realized that that article could give me a little bit of the insight that I was looking for to write this piece for this person. So I'll read you the piece, but can I also encourage you to look up that particular article as well. So this poem is called A Poem in Your Shoe, and it goes like this. I will put a poem in your shoe. As long as I am me and you are you, I will put a poem in your shoe. I peered into the well, all the way down through the dark of hell. I peered down into the well. I will put a poem in your shoe. What will you do if you get to the abyss and it begins to speak back to you? I will put a poem in your shoe. I looked out at the dark in all the world, grief and the loneliness of young and old, and I asked God, what should I do? I will put a poem in your shoe. What about when it feels like there is no hope? I will always put a poem in your shoe. I approached the chasm of my own inner dark, and I peeked out over the edge, and it seemed to go on, and I couldn't see where it ended as I lay along the ledge. But I will put a poem in your shoe. What about when your own inner dark is overwhelming? I will always put a poem in your shoe. I will put a poem in your shoe, no matter what the joy or sorrow feels like. I will always put a poem in your shoe. I asked God where he was, and in the midst of the rubble and blood, all the way down through lonely hell, I saw a face, a weeping face, Christ's bleeding face. There, down at the bottom of the well, there in the grieving of the world, there in the darkness of my own soul, there I could see his face. I asked him why, but he showed me how. He went down there first. I barely know, but I can promise you, he went down there first. The darkest of chasms, the deepest of wells, all the way through the black of hell, he went down there first. So I will put a poem in your shoe. As long as I am me and you are you, I will always put a poem in your shoe. Poems to wrap your feet in hope, to cushion the moments when you cannot cope. Letters from those who have gone before, who have washed up broken on the shore, who have felt they couldn't go on anymore, but have gone one day and one day more, and have lived to tell the tale. From all those who have gone before in big ways or in small, who have met in moments of deepest hurt, the one who went down there first. He weeps with us and hurts with us too, and he has gone before us through the gloom. So I will put a poem in your shoe. For every day that I am me and you are you, I will always put a poem in your shoe. The end. So that's in The Artist if you want your own copy. I find poetry of others that have gone before to be one of the most life-giving things in this world. Something that brings hope and calm and comfort. I hope that you are finding those things, hope and calm and comfort, and perhaps even fun and celebration in the lifting of restrictions or whatever it is that's going on in your life. But no matter what, remember, don't ever forget that you are fully seen and fully known and fully loved, and there will always be poetry to be read and put in your shoe. I'll chat to you next time. Bye.